Hey everybody, it's Asif Khan, CEO of Shacknews, here at our Shacknews Cortex R&D facility, where we are hard at work on a new experience for Shacknews.com users. But before we set off those fireworks, I think we should probably take a look at where our industry stands right now in June 2023. As an independent website that finds itself competing with sites that are owned by giant bloated conglomerates, Shacknews has been able to navigate around some of the larger problems our industry faces. But billion-dollar companies are going under, and we are not immune to the macro trends causing this games media-wide contraction. We don't run programmatic advertisements on Shacknews.com, while many of our very large competitors still run giant banner ads or takeovers or auto-playing video ads that really break the user experience. Our website is one of the faster loading and also very easy to read sites on the internet. The inherent conflict of interest that media sites have running giant ads for games that they're covering is not really present at Shacknews, but it doesn't really appear that anyone cares about the journalistic integrity of anyone these days. The ones who do probably enjoy our fast load times and overall positive reading experience. There's not a whole lot of loyalty on the part of readers or viewers who engage with outlets on social media these days. The recent proliferation of machine learning, large language models, neural networks, computer vision, and a bunch of other AI-like technologies have begun to make matters worse. It was already hard enough to get people to click on a link in a search engine result or on social media posts, but these AI results take users even further away from the source of the information. Tools like ChatGPT are scraping our website and fabricating their own answers to guides that people probably would have gone to Shacknews.com to read before. Even more concerning is that these trends are helping amplify the spread of misinformation on the internet, with chatbots hallucinating and verified Twitter users who pay $8 a month being able to spout whatever misinformation they want on the platform. It's truly a darker time for online journalism as a whole. And it does feel somewhat impossible for Shacknews to make a difference in the future of the internet. We launched the Shacknews Cortex gamification engine in 2020, and we gave users the ability to generate their own articles that have the same domain authority as Shacknews.com. Through our own internal mistakes with development, launch, and management of the Cortex platform, it largely sits dormant on our website today, with auto-generated posts declaring the winner of Shacknews for the day, week, month, and even year. I personally have withdrawn from posting to social media since October 2022, which was when Lola passed away. I've been facing 3 years of increasingly bad health issues. My doctors currently believe that I have multiple autoimmune diseases, but between the treatments, the misdiagnoses, the side effects of treatments, the consequences of incorrect treatments, and the new one I'm on, I really haven't had much energy. Definitely not enough energy to care about what reply guys are saying or going outside and pouring rain to do a weather report for people. I simply just haven't had the energy. It's hurt every single company I'm a part of, including Shacknews, and I appreciate everyone for their understanding during what has been the most difficult time in my life. This June marks 10 years since I invested in GamerHub Content Network, the company that went on to acquire Shacknews in the same year. We're still here. We're going to attempt another pivot today with the launch of Shacknews Cortex 2.0.0. We're introducing a new short-form post feature called Shouts. I don't believe that billion-dollar or trillion-dollar companies should be in charge of free speech on the internet. And while Twitter is still doing its thing and Facebook is about to launch their own rival, I think that Shacknews is in a unique place to embrace our independence and offer a refuge to people who may not feel comfortable supporting these very profit-driven, data-driven platforms. We're shipping what we have working as of today. It's not as deep as a feature set as you'll see on other social media platforms, but one thing that I can promise is that Shacknews Cortex Shouts will get better over time. And that just does not appear to be the case on all these other platforms like Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, etc. Users will be able to post videos, images, even their own favorite reaction GIFs to the platform. Shacknews Cortex shouts are inspired by MySpace, GeoCities, and that feeling that AOL Instant Messenger away messages gave you. We're not trying to build a digital town square. We're really just trying to give you an empty void to shout into. So if you're someone who might need an unresponsive void to shout into on the internet, Shacknews Cortex is there for you. It's my pleasure to introduce everyone to Shacknews Cortex 2.0.0. Some things that I can show off right now are the new Cortex logo. People were confused by having a Shacknews logo atop of our user-generated content feed. So we have given Cortex its own branding. We've also done that with Shacknews Chatty. And if you're worried about navigating back to the front page of Shacknews, we do not have an infinite scroll website, so you can just scroll down to our footer and click on the Shacknews logo. But yeah, that's our first, slightly nice update for this thing. Another thing we're adding, profile pictures, or avatars, if you'd like to call them that. Users will be able to upload avatars that will be visible on the timeline for Shacknews Cortex. And as we announced earlier in this presentation, Cortex 2.0.0 introduces shouts. So you see the modal here, but you can also just click on the shout button and it appears in the center of the screen. So instead of asking what's happening or something lame, we just say sup. We don't have time for this stuff. So, let's just do one of these live. Demoing Shacknews Cortex shouts. And there it is. We support text only, up to 330 characters. If you're wondering why it's 330, that is the area code in Akron and Canton, Ohio. Our lead dev, Patrick Lucas, is from, the Akron area, and I currently still live in my hometown of Canton, Ohio. So a little shout out there. We're focused on brevity here because if you want a longer post, you could either post a Shacknews Cortex post, like an article, or a chatty thread, which has like 5,000 character limit. So the idea here is brevity. Another thing that we've added is, kind of unique to Twitter, financial tags. So, right now there's not a whole lot of people on the platform, but this is everyone who has posted about the S&P 500 ETF. I think that financial Twitter has really become a mess full of misinformation and spam. We hope that we could get some people to bring their financial knowledge over to our platform. So we are shipping with financial tags. You put a $sign in front of a stock symbol, and it'll show up as a clickable tag. So we have one for Microsoft here. Yeah, some Clippy. And, Activision Blizzard here. There's also just traditional hashtags. So, we saw that sick Hexen shirt that Phil Spencer was wearing, so we created a hashtag for Hexen. And this is a little different than how Cortex worked, where you had to create topics for everything. Hashtags are basically created the minute you hit post in the Cortex Shouts modal. So, we don't have feature parity with existing short form posting platforms, but we are a little different. And I think a way to show that would be one of these style of posts. I call it the triple decker. Here at Shacknews Cortex Shouts, you're going to be able to upload an image, a video, and a GIF, all at the same damn time. We call it the triple decker, and it's just delightful. And, if you just want to make a silly video out of one of your staff members who didn't know how to spell AOL, you can do that too. Or posting random images of Yoshi, or if you even want to just upload your own independent music, you can do that too. So there's a lot to do on the platform. We have the ability to post hyperlinks. And I want to mention this because on a lot of platforms, hyperlinks count to they count against your character limit. Shacknews Cortex shouts will not count hyperlinks. So you can write 330 characters and post a hyperlink. It's just a little thing, but we think it's a quality of life improvement from what you would experience on Twitter. Another thing that's pretty big, I mentioned earlier in our presentation, you can upload videos to Shacknews Cortex up to 500 megabytes. And we see here our senior news editor, TJ Denzer, who's very good at Street Fighter, has been posting some clips. So let's take a look.
Where are you going? Sweet dreams! Where are you going?
KO! Most impressive. And you have seen that the videos do loop on the platform. And it doesn't matter how long of a video it is, it's going to be looping. We think that'll lend itself to some fun, things that may resemble Vine even, We're not really going to be a content creation platform. It's more about sharing stuff, but, there's plenty of places to make short-form video content these days. And, plenty of places to make, longer-form video content that can still go up here. So we're excited to see what our users decide to post. You can post just text, you can post just an image, you can post just a video, like TJ did here. We can also view these in full screen. They are muted by default, so you can unmute them. Go back to the smaller version. TJ's really good at this game. If you want to be super obnoxious like me, you can post an image. By the way, I don't know if you noticed, we have alt text built into this. A video, which is already vertical and obnoxious on that standpoint. Or even a GIF. And, our platform allows for people to assign alt text to GIFs as well as images. We even put an alt text field for video, but I don't know anyone who uses that yet. So, maybe we're ahead of the game there. Important thing is sharing of various posts. So if you click on the date underneath each Cortex shout post, or shout, it's its own independent hyperlink that is the content with the header that you see here. You can easily follow or unfollow or block by just clicking on somebody's name, choosing follow or block. Users can also hide their profiles. As I mentioned before, we are inspired by MySpace, so we have a top 5 topics and a top 5 users. It's a nice way to jump to people that you like on the platform. They also show up here on your My Feed menu. A lot of the work we've done for Cortex Shouts has been on the desktop side of things, so we're not really going to show mobile here today. It works kind of. Like I said, we shipped what was working as of the 15th of June. So, there's definitely going to be some problems, but we're pretty excited with the feature set that we are shipping here. You'll notice that there are no replies. I think that might be a feature. If people really, really want more things to do on that front, then yeah, maybe down the road we will add some sort of ability to comment. But we figure that shouts are more about just kind of dropping your own hot take into the void. I think Donovan's actually kind of got a good grip of it. Like this post right here. Don't get me wrong, Josh Allen had a great season, but Jalen Hurts deserved to be on the Madden cover this year. I already gave that a like. But yeah, this normally would have caused some sort of argument on Twitter. But because there is no one has the ability to reply, you can just drop your favorite hot takes. Across the Spider-Verse might be the best movie of the year. I'm not sure what could possibly beat it. I know one. It's called the Mario movie. But I can't say that to Donovan, and I kind of think that's a feature here. Or maybe I just call him up and yell at him about it. Either way, I think that shouts are going to be slightly different than other social media posts because of the lack of replies. Some people may say it's something that's missing from the platform. I kind of think it's a feature. Over time, we'll see who's right. Another thing about our platform is we embrace the existing rules of Shacknews Cortex. So the all post feed is every post on the platform from users that you have not blocked in reverse chronological order. So the top of the Cortex feed will always be the most recent post. Most of these platforms now have a For You page and a following page. Our version of the following page is my feed, and it is largely going to behave the same way as a following page would work on TikTok or Twitter. Our all posts page is what we have instead of a For You. This is everything on the platform. So this is where you'll be able to discover stuff and, go from there. Once again, the lack of an algorithm on this platform, I believe to be a feature, because there's no algorithm to game. It's just about posting interesting stuff, and people will like your things when you do, but there is no benefit to being liked outside of just knowing that your content is more compelling. From the user who is liking its standpoint, it's nice because it's almost like a bookmark feature where, I just anything TJ posts Street Fighter 6 related, I'm going to be watching. So took a look at this one, gave it a like, and you're able to see everything you've liked in reverse chronological order. Oh, look, there's an Aussie video posting some of that Hearthstone gameplay. Pretty good at Hearthstone, that guy. And, gave him a like. Go back to my feed, for instance. Let's say, I posted something earlier, and I'm like, oh no, I had a mistake. Because we're building in... We basically built the shouts feature into our existing article setup. We have edits built in from the jump. So, I can add an image. I don't have an image here, but, I could... Let's see. Let's search for a GIF. I'm going to search for Cortex. So now I'm going to update the shout with a GIF. And there you have it. Going back to Cortex. Now my shout has a GIF attached to it. And I'm like, whoops, I forgot to put alt text to this GIF. Well, you can just go back in, click edit, go down here and say, that's Brain talking his smack. I guess I should say Brain from Animaniacs talking his smack. There you go. Now when you mouse over, you have your alt text right there. That's something that is super frustrating on Twitter when you post something and you forget to use your alt text. I have visually impaired family members, so it's something that I made a point to ship at launch for Cortex Shouts, but we are looking forward to expanding the accessibility of the platform with stuff like that. Back to the all posts. I don't think the cache has kicked in for that yet. And yeah, if you want to delete your post, you can. The other good news about this is that we do have edit history built in, so our Shacknews moderators will be able to see, if you did something dubious and you switched what the post was. Our moderators will be able to police that. So yeah, that's about it. I think that the triple decker is truly one of our more interesting features. I think it's just a fun experience that harkens back to the old days of the internet. We want this feed to be more like MySpace, and we want this place to feel more like GeoCities. We want you to be able to customize it more with stuff like your profile pictures. We want you to be able to express yourself more with easy-to-use hashtags that you can just generate whenever. And we want to embrace financial discussion because Shacknews has become a source of financial information in gaming and tech, and we think that those users may just want to talk about news and all sorts of stuff, maybe stock trade ideas. We're really excited to see where people take the financial tags on this platform. So hashtags, financial tags, GIFs, alt text. Like here's an example of an image that doesn't have alt text, and that drives me crazy. So I'm going to say Shacknews E7 logo. Period. And there it is. So we're pretty proud of the work we've done on this already. we're excited to ship this and have our users. Oh man, this post is almost too obnoxious. I'm going to remove. I don't know. I guess I can just leave it as is. But sometimes you look at Clippy and you're just like, come on, man. It is pretty big. So you can have some pretty thick, pretty large posts here. But I think the triple decker is really going to be fun. Wendy's has Dave's original hamburgers. We have the triple decker. Yeah, obviously, Cortex Shouts is going to be a great platform for vertical videos, which is super popular these days with the proliferation of TikTok, Facebook Reels, Instagram Reels, and YouTube Shorts. I think we're going to see Cortex Shouts become a nice home for anyone who's been making vertical video content. But we don't really care about aspect ratio. We can handle 9:16, we can handle 16:9, we can handle GIFs. And we're excited to see where people take this platform. It's not perfect by any stretch of the imagination. Here's one of my favorite triple decker posts. It's a Duke Nukem Forever Restoration Project trailer, which I think I just kind of punched up a little bit with this image and GIF choice. But yeah, our goal here is to make Shacknews.com a more unique website with every single update that we make. And we think Cortex Shouts is going to be one of those things that differentiates us. We already have one of the longest running video game forums in Shacknews Chatty, and we are optimistic that people are going to want to use our platform because we're not some giant conglomerate. We're not a $1 trillion market cap company. We're not a $1 billion company. It's just us. I'm basically funding this place at this point. And I personally am just building the site that I want for myself. Between Shacknews Reader, which is a place that can ingest RSS feeds, YouTube channels, podcasts, and Cortex Shouts, I feel like those two things combined can replace Twitter for me. Not for everyone. If you want to tweet at Barack Obama, Shacknews Cortex Shouts is not going to be the way to do it. But if you just want to yell in the air about anything, and you don't really care who's on the platform to respond to you, I think Cortex Shouts is going to be a really interesting place for that. So our goal is to make Shacknews.com a more unique site and a site where users feel compelled to generate content and have fun doing it. So we hope that you like what you saw here today. It's just a small demo. Really appreciate your time and hope you have a great rest of your E7. I'll throw it back to me. It's my hope that you will join us to help build a better timeline than we currently have. Shacknews Cortex Shouts are nowhere near perfect, and we're shipping them with basically everything that we had ready to go for June 15th. There are things that we already have planned to improve the platform, and we'd like to listen to the users. If you have any ideas or suggestions or bugs that you notice, so please, keep commenting on Chatty if you see anything, and we will do our best to improve it over time. And I think that's more than most social media platforms can say.